Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. Thank you for tuning in. Today we will be covering a topic on mixed gender interactions, whether it is in our workplaces or whether it is online, given all the different platforms that we use. What are some guidelines that we need to be aware of? Is it permissible? Is it not? So inshallah, we have Sheikh Mujtaba who will be guiding us and helping us shed more light on this topic. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Thank you for facilitating this, and thank you for participating, for those who participate with us and follow us on these videos. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it beneficial for all of us. And as we reflect, may He allow us to practice what we preach and what we learn as well, inshallah. So in terms of mixed gender interactions, both in person and online, including perhaps in workplace or university or in any other place, there are a few considerations to be made. Number one, obviously we're speaking about interactions with the opposite gender without them being mahram. And when we say mahram, we're referring to those who one is not able to marry. Okay, so that's why the term mahram is used, because they cannot marry them potentially. And basically the wife and those people who cannot be potentially a wife. So the mother, obviously, the sister, aunt, from both basically maternal and paternal, grandmother and grandfather for the person. So these are the mahram. Outside of those, interacting with the opposite gender, when there's no mahramiyya involved, one has to make certain considerations. Number one, what is the purpose of the interaction? Okay, is there a legitimate reason to have that interaction? If so, then obviously there is no problem. If it's a permissible reason, there's no issue. If not, then that should be avoided in the first place. So we don't have this concept of just talking to the opposite gender just for fun, or obviously that's not permissible. So then the next thing is when you do interact with them, in terms of looking at them, we have to consider also lowering our gaze. So in other words, not to look in a lustful way and not to check them out, as they may use the term checking them out or something. Obviously looking, is it permissible to look at their face as you talk to them? As long as there's no lust involved, it is not a problem. But lowering the gaze in general, so not always looking, because those looks may lead to likings and so on. Minimizing even that in terms of the way you look at them as you talk to them, address them, and so on. So that's another one. Another one is the concept of khalwa. So we need to make sure that we are avoiding a situation that we are, with the opposite gender in a place where no one else can be present and is expected to be present. That is known as khalwa. Khalwa, from basically to be with someone with no one else there, or to be alone, if you wish. So that also is a situation to be avoided. Now, not every khalwa is haram, but a khalwa that may lead to problems is definitely haram, and in general it should be avoided. Khalwa should be avoided, and as we said, it's to be alone in a place that no other person can enter. So some ask, what about in a car, for example, if you're getting a ride something. Is that considered a khalwa? In general, no, but it could be. So again, these things should be minimized, avoided at times, and so on. Outside of that, when it comes to obviously limitation in terms of besides khalwa, in terms of the way you talk to them, okay, what you talk about. So there's a legitimate reason. At the same time, should we start cracking jokes and acting funny and try and one has to also be careful with that, because that may lead to developing emotions that are not appropriate, unless one is considering marriage. But again, we always advise mu'mineen and mu'minat to minimize even those things for potential spouse until they are committed to one another, because without the commitment, sometimes people go on for months, or in person or even online, talking to each other, developing feelings for one another, but there's no commitment. There's no they have not committed in a contract in the in the court of God, in the eyes of God, that I am committed to this person. They have not done that yet. So what ends up happening often is that they develop those feelings and emotions and end up hurting one another and themselves, heartbroken and so on. In terms of the things that you speak about, one has to be careful as well, not to be beyond what is legitimate as the reason for the interaction. If it's a class, if it's work place related, and so on. Online is another big issue that is perhaps the issue of the century or our era, because now a lot of people are learning how to use it. It's a new thing, okay? So a lot of people came into it, these virtual spaces, and their humanity in general is learning how to adapt to it and how to use it, but not to harm ourselves. So we have addiction issues, we have children and their problems and too much screen issues, and we also have interactions with the opposite gender is another issue that is occurring online. And in some cases, you might be speaking to somebody and developing feelings for somebody who is not even real. Okay, it could is not what they are suggesting they are, or who they are suggesting to be. Many cases exist where you're thinking you're speaking to a female and it's a male who's just put a picture. And nowadays with AI, that is even easier. They can even make a video for you. So it's not that difficult. So now, why do we say, one could ask, why is it a problem? Why can't I interact? It's only online. We're not going to touch each other in haram. We're not going to have any kind of physical interaction in person. It's online. Maybe they're in a different country even. And what I say to people is that our relationships, us humans, we have a very strong faculty, which is the power of imagination. Okay, and we develop relationships, emotional relationships beyond borders, beyond these physical limitations. And actually, those those emotional and the power of imagination and emotional faculty may have even more. Not may, actually, it does have more effect on us than the physical faculty. Breakups are more damaging because of the emotional and psychological part, not so much about the physical part. In fact, our imagination and remembering the person, being with them and so on, not just being with them online, imagining to be with them, starting the life in your own mind, in your own world, starting a life with them and wanting that for yourself. And the next thing is it doesn't happen. It is definitely affecting us in the sense that one could be heartbroken and even go into depression and so on. and at the same time, they may be delaying what is legitimate and rightful for them, while they're developing. And I receive quite frequently, and I mentioned this, questions from, anonymous, sometimes online anonymous people, as sometimes people do come up and ask me in person about a person they've been speaking to, and it's not working out because of the family, because of this, but now they like each other, they've been talking to each other for so long, they develop so much feelings for one another, and so on. And the response is, it shouldn't have started in the beginning. That is the reality. If it did not start in the beginning, you would not be in this position. When it's legitimate, it starts and it evolves legitimately with a commitment. And when there's no commitment, it should be even engagements until there's a commitment, should be limited to what's permissible in terms of the interactions, whether online or in person, so that it minimizes those devastating sometimes situations of being heartbroken and so on. And at the same time, it allows one to explore what is legitimate, what is rightful for them out there. I hope that if there's any follow-up on that. Any questions?
I think that covers that topic quite well. And hopefully, people are able to kind of take the gist of it. And I'm sure personal situations might be different from one situation to the next, but it's about the principles, and hopefully, the discussion is helpful.
Inshallah. If you have further questions, please feel free to share your comments or put it in the comments as questions, and inshallah we'll cover those in future recordings, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.